Welcome to the Brownsville Minute, a community-conscious conversation and a platform that provides information, wellness, love, and unity all on a digital platform. And our goal is to try to make sure that our community residents are informed, conscious, and that we are connecting the dots on a virtual platform. The Brownsville Minute is designed for everyone. Please join us with the Brownsville Minute. Well, hey there, good people. I am really happy that you are joining us today for another episode of the Brownsville Minute. But guess what? I am bringing along a wonderful guest that I think that it will enlighten you, provide you with an opportunity to be engaged differently within the community, but also to be able to share in the history, the rich history that exists within the Brownsville community. My name is Anita Pierce, and I am the host and the producer of the Brownsville Minute, which is a community conscious space that provides conversation, information, all within this show. We are excited to really share with you information that is useful, that can allow you to share with your neighbors, but also to be able to think about how you yourself can be involved within the community. For more than 40 years, now I just made 47, so it's been around for quite some time, and I'm excited to share that the Brownsville Heritage House offers programming on African American history, culture, community pride, and also history as about Brownsville. How amazing is it that a space exists like this within our community, where we can go and find our roots, love, some of them good old photos when we had on the shorts, really little shorts that, I don't want to talk about now, but just really thinking about a space. We can go to a space where it's about the arts, culture, but it's also centered in love. The Brownsville Heritage House is a space, and it does exist within our beautiful community. So I'm not doing it justice, right? I'm going to bring on the executive director who currently is continuing to live out, the vision of our beloved Mother Gaston. And if you don't know about, you're going to find out today about the history of the Heritage House. And one of the things that I can share for myself and as a way of, dealing with mental health, where I go to places that are peaceful and deals with museums, arts, and culture. So, if you're looking for a space to, just kind of want to learn history, or if you want to check out a bit, think about the Heritage House as a place to go. So, I'm just sharing that as my little side note, and hopefully that can be something that could be useful for you during this time. So, enough about me. Let's bring on our wonderful guest. Good day, Miss Robertson. How are you?
I'm well. How are you? And everyone out there, I'm so glad you took the time to stop by
I'm
Brownsville Heritage
happy,
House.
happy, 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 happy to finally have this discussion with you, because I think that what you are going to share with our community is something that um I'm like I mentioned, I'm 40 years old, but I know that the vision has been around longer than I've been in existence. So, can you tell us a little bit about the Brownsville Heritage House? And one, how did you get involved?
Well, as you said earlier, Brownsville Heritage House has been around. Actually, we just celebrated 41 years this past March.
Okay.
It was started by Mother Rosetta Gaston, hence Mother Gaston Boulevard. She actually came to the community back in 1962, but she started something out of her home called the Children's Cultural Corner in 1967.
Mm.
And that was around up until at least for 10 years. So in 1977, they closed its doors. It was located on Livonia Avenue. And then she was still alive at that point. She wanted something else. She wanted a more permanent place to pass down traditions from our elders to our youth. Just keep that nourishing community that we as people of color, I'm going to use those words, people of color, we tend to nurture each other. We tend to um, be a family to one another. So hence Brownsville Heritage House was born. We was able to secure the location that we're currently in, which is in the Brooklyn Public Library, the Stone Avenue branch, formerly known as the Brownsville Children's Library, which was the actually first children's library possibly in the world, but definitely in the country, built by Andrew Carnegie back in 1914. During the time when we secured the space, it was instrumental through Major Owens. I don't know if anyone remember Congress Major Owens. Before he was a congressman, he actually was a librarian here at this particular branch. So when got into politics, they knew that the second floor was not being occupied as being well used as it was in the past. So we were able to secure this location through his help, through Enoch Williams, uh, Ed Towns. They were all young at the beginning of their political careers. Even David Dinkins, before he became mayor, they were able to secure the second floor of as we know, it's the Stone Avenue Library. And we've been in this location since then. We opened our doors back in March of 1981. Mother Gaston at that point was 96 years old. Unfortunately, she passed away a month before we officially opened our doors, but she was able to meet the team that was going to the board of directors, the executive director at that time, who was our first executive director, was Stan Kennard. I know everyone knows about Stan Kennard. He was our first executive director. Um, so, and here we are, 41 years later. So I am proud to say that when I got involved with Heritage House, it was back in 2006. Um, it was because actually my mom was a board member at that time, not knowing. I was like, oh my God. I didn't really know that much about Heritage House when I was younger. I just remember her going to meetings. I was like, oh my God, Mom, why you always at this Heritage House? You're this Heritage House. And not until much later on, years later, I got involved and I understood. I was like, oh. And here I am carrying the torch after Patricia Dean, that most people remember her, Miss Pat, and I became ED back in 2013. So I am now bringing it forward. We're currently now, if everyone did not know, we're in the middle of a new strategic redesign. So we're redesigning everything. from the website to our social media. We're updating everything, redesigning the space so we can introduce new exhibits. So we're really excited. We're working with some group, working with Black Space. We're working with Boat Architects. We're working with Alchemy archivists. We're very excited about this new tradition. It's a 2-year project. We just finished our first phase. We're going into our second phase. So yeah. So when you see me send out, if you're on my email list and I send you out something to come down to talk to see what's happening, come on down so we can get your opinion on what you would like to see happen here. We still have our weekly writers workshop, The Power of the Pen, which is on Saturdays from 11 to 2 p.m. That is, we currently do that virtually as well as in-house. We do have an event coming up on November 19th where we're asking for models. We're working with Fashion in the Arts, who's looking for models no matter what size. They're doing a model call. It will be from 3 to 5 p.m. on that Saturday. So come on down if you want to stretch yourself for some new upcoming designers. Come on down and see us. I think that's all I have right now. We're currently working to bring back our jazz concerts, which was every third Saturday. So we're working, haven't got that secured yet, but we're working on it. Looking for it. Probably won't be back until probably December or January at the beginning of the year. So we still do jazz concerts. Yes, we still do it. If I'm talking too much.
No, I'm just excited because I think that the key, you brought up some very, very interesting points about, how you got involved as a youngster by going to meetings. If you've ever seen me, and most may know, I have a little CEO in the making, and she attends board meetings and goes to things like that. And you may not think that they are absorbing, but it's so interesting to see that, your process is now, attending meetings. Now you're the executive director. So it does come full circle historically. So that's really exciting. I don't know, that just kind of was really exciting. But I was also really, really just interested in learning more and having the viewers really understand about preserving the history within Brownsville. So I recently went to a conference where I had a chance to visit the museum in Washington D.C. And I have to tell you, I didn't get to see it all because it's not you really have to process, going in those different spaces. But knowing that something similar exists within our own backyards, and that there's an opportunity now to enhance what already exists, is really exciting. Why should one within a community think about this as a cultural hub within Brownsville?
I think you said this before. It's in your own backyard.
Mhm.
And I believe people say, oh, we got to go outside our community. You really don't have to go outside your community. There's so many different organizations that are here. Us being, like I said, we've been here long standing for many, many years. People say, oh, you guys are still there. Yeah, we're still here. We're still doing the work. We're still bringing the resources. We're still making sure that culture, again, we do plays, concerts, workshops. We do everything here. So our major goal is to change that narrative of Brownsville, because just because you live in Brownsville does not mean we don't have the things that you can't find on Broadway or down at BAM or going downtown. You can do it here. We just want people to, this is your public living room. That is our new thing, is that we're going to call it the public living room. And when you come in, I know you've been here. When you come in, we want you to feel at home. It is your house. It is like, kick up your feet, relax a little bit, bring your tea or your coffee with you. Take out a book, read a book, relax, just to unwind. Look at the different exhibits and artifacts that are around you. It's just, to me, especially with this new project that we've undertaken, as I guess we're saying rebranding or update. I don't know what the political term is these days. I found that, wow, there was so much history that we found here that we're archiving and putting together so that we can make it available to the public. But the one thing that I believe is consistent is that when you walk in, you feel that you're at home. And I believe for our community, we need to know that there's a safe place to go to, a safe place just to unwind, a safe place to even know about who you are. Because so many of us is so, as you say, you was talking about mental health. Some of us, we just have so many things going through our mind. We don't know who we are.
Mm.
We're searching. We're trying to figure that out, and we have so much negative media. I'm gonna use that media throwing it at us on a constant basis. You just need a place to just unwind and just say, "Wait a minute, hey, that's not true." And even Brownsville itself, we want to be that connection to the global space. When you go to our museums, we want to be that connection. And when you talk about Brownsville, Brownsville has a rich history on all by itself. It is a community that was, when I say integrated, it was very integrated with various ethnic groups, from Italians to Jews to Latinos to uh, French, Mediterranean. And I'm going to say, what is the common goal with amongst these people? Is that some of us, we want to use the way, we don't want to say that we're black, but at the end of the day, when you look down into history, we are people of color. When you go to those countries and you see a person of those various nationalities, they're dark like you and me, and they all lived here at the beginning or at the turn of the century. So I want people to know, yes, we do have crime here. Yes, we do have, but crime is everywhere. And then you also have to look at, why is it so important? Why is that media always talking, oh, the gangs, oh, this and that? Why is that? Look what you have in your community. Look at your location. At the end of the day, here in New York, it's always going to come down to real estate. And Brownsville is situated in a place that is above sea level. You sit between two major airports. You have all the trains and buses that get you to Midtown Manhattan in under a half an hour. You have access to the Long Island Railroad if you want to get the country life or the suburban life. There is we have to take back that narrative. We have to say, look, we're not saying that it's perfect here, but what we're saying is what we have here is worth preserving and worth keeping and worth helping those who still live here understand before you take flight, understand what it is that you have. So that is our mission. I'm gonna say my mission personally, to make sure that Brownsville Heritage House, make sure that people understand what we have here in our community. Hope that we be here for another 40 years and beyond, and make sure that we exhibit those things that makes us great. It's not just us as the people that make us great. It's the different things that's gone on in this community. We were at the forefront of women's rights. We were at the forefront of education. We were at the forefront of labor unions. And people don't know that. Yeah, we were. Things that you see on the global stage actually started right here in the community. And those are the stories that I feel must be told every day, or at least have some place where you can go and find out more about it.
And that was, it's funny that you mentioned the teach I think it's the teacher strike of 1968, right?
Yes.
That was the start of a robust and also the creation of new policies as a result of that strike in 1968. I had no clue, right? And
Mhm.
there were, when you talk about having a core of leaders that were huge advocates and wanting to um, advocate, fight for the rights of a community and of a people. It started within
Mhm.
Brownsville, and as
Exactly.
you're growing up, you don't really know about those stories. I actually learned about that one doing confirming um, research that someone I researched it after someone mentioned it, and I'm like,
Mhm.
holy smoke, like, Brownsville is really dope. Like,
Yeah.
where your where you come from within your community. Like, you see that's your home if you're born and bred there. And then
Hmm.
to know, at least from my perspective, the positive outputs and the change that has actually come from collective community, and loving
Hmm.
on one another. Because
Another.
I think
Hmm.
that's deep love, when you are willing to create a movement because
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
are frustrated with the way things are happening within the community. And I think that's coming full circle with the leaders that we have now, such as yourself.
Well, thank you. I don't know about being a leader, but yeah, thank you. But it's definitely, as you said, with that teacher strike, that was also the beginning of the community falling apart, because it
Mm,
was like a backlash. Because you have to remember, in the 60s we were coming into our own as Black Power, voting, understanding who we were. And one of the, and I say this a myth, they say, oh, that was a racist, that had nothing to do with race. Again, our community was a collective community of several different ethnic groups,
mhm.
and everything that happened, every ethnic group that was here was benefit from what was going on at that time, very moment in time it was happening. And when people they, I'll just go back to the teacher strike. They were saying, oh, that was a thing against Jews. Okay, Jews and blacks were living together for a while. And why would we be why would we pick on them to say, oh, you can't teach our children? We live in side by side. That doesn't make any sense. But when you dig into the history of why those teachers who happen to be Jewish, they happen to be Jewish because at that time there wasn't a lot of black teachers at that time. They were mostly Jewish or European teachers at that time. Um, you look at their history, they have been, used to be tenure in the Board of Ed, or well, I don't know, is it Board of Ed, or they call it something else now. um, they have been placed around the city and were not doing their job and landed here in Brownsville.
Mm.
And when we were looking at, well, wait a minute, they're not doing their job. Why are they even in the classroom? And we, of course, as blacks, we're like, again, we coming into our own. No, if you're not going to teach our children, if you're just there to be to hold a seat because you're waiting to retire, then you got to go. And that's what it was about. It had nothing to do with the color of their skin. The point is, you was not teaching our children. And when you're going through uh, uh, renewal of oneself, and you're saying, wait a minute, well, how come we don't have, why are we not teaching this? We want these things brought into us. We want to start teaching these things as well. We want that to be part of the criteria, the curriculum I should use. But then when you start taking a closer look, because you have to remember that was also when we was now creating the first community school boards, where parents actually had a say on what was being taught in their district. So again, it was such a big, that's a whole nother podcast, but
I know, I know.
we have to remember, we were at the for celebrities, everybody was coming into our community. They were the model cities was created, where a lot of students, young people, were able to go to college for free, or they were going away to school. And when it wasn't just us, again, those people that were living here as well also was beneficial. It benefited them as well. So it had nothing to do with race. And I know a couple of people of Italian and Jewish descent that benefited from the from that. But it was a backlash, because it was like, oh, how dare you want to take control of your schools? How dare you want to say what you want in your community? We spoke up. And remember, Brownsville's always been considered I don't even know why it's considered a poor, I don't know if that's correct, a poor community, when there's homes here. People had private homes, 4 family homes, multi dwellings before they actually put NYCHA here. I don't see how it was considered poor. Okay, but I guess when you're coming from a different country, you're an immigrant, everybody feels you're poor, but that is not the case. So we need to change that narrative as well. Yes, there's a lot of nitrate housing, and not everybody living in nitrate is poor. They just know how to budget their money and not pay $2,000, $3,000 rent, whatever. That's not the case anymore. But I'm just saying that we just need to. Our goal is to make sure we change that narrative. Let people know that Brownsville has a history. We are at the forefront of a lot of things that is going on in this country and in the world all the time. It starts right here all the time. And we just need to be proud of it and just say, hey, I don't know what the saying was back in the day. Yeah, I'm from the Ville, never ran, never will. So so we just don't have to run away anymore.
I
Just
know, never from
no,
Brownsville, never ran, never will, and that's still.
exactly.
But I'm curious to find out, as you are leading this cultural infused space, what are
Mhm.
some of the goals that you as the executive director vision, at least for the next few years? What are like three things that you would like to accomplish under your leadership?
Well, like I said, we've been here for 40 years. Um, One of the things I was talking about as a part of our new strategic design is that we're archiving, cataloging things. So
Mm.
that's one plan. It's a huge project. We started half of it. And I was like, and when I was going through things, I was like, wow, people need to see this. We have like handwritten letters uh, Langston Hughes, Pearl S. Buck, um, Tom Fields, that was written to Mother Gaston, who was very prolific herself. She was the one. I mean, she just knew about her papers alone. I'm like, oh my god, she just knew like almost everybody. Um, so we definitely want to make sure that we are archiving those things and making it available to the public. The next thing is we do want to redesign it so that whereas now when you come in, there's so much stuff here you can't really see everything.
Right.
It's just your mind is so collective. It's like that's just too much. So now we're just trying to thin that out, find a space so that we can really exhibit things the way they're supposed to be exhibited, so that you can really see and understand what is talking about. Not not so that is all intertwined. Um, the next thing is, yeah, we're trying now. If you don't know, I'm a staff of one. Now I want to build. Let's bring in that staff of people so we can really do this right. We are. When you talked about the African Museum in Washington, now they built that about maybe 5-6 years ago, but we were doing this way before the African Museum.
Right.
People were saying they got the same stuff. I said, well, they probably somebody came in, got the idea from us, and took it to Washington. I'm not gonna say that's true, but I kind of feel that that's what happened. They said they got the things that you're doing here. I said, yeah, but how amazing is that they're on a national level, but we have the same thing right here in the community.
Hmm.
So and that's the other thing. Our community, we find that ideas are constantly people coming in, taking our ideas and moving them into another realm. And maybe that's because maybe we don't understand. We have a vision, but we don't understand how to make it happen. So we now want to be that place where that think tank as well. You have a vision. Let's figure out how we can make this blossom for our community. How do we make that? Find the solutions to make our. If you want to live in a gated community, make Brownsville a gated community. You know that invisible gate, but make it for safe and have all the things that you want. We can do it right here. So yeah, for me, and the people that I've been working with, that's another thing. I feel blessed that they see what I see and they're able to. It's coming to fruition. It's coming. It's a slow process. It's not going to be overnight, but I see the things that I've been dreaming about seeing in my mind, and they're like, "Oh, so you're talking about this? Yeah, that's it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's it." Yeah, I don't know. I'm just
It's exciting. So you see your excitement is um being generated through this specific screen. And it's exciting to me to see that you have deep passion about carrying on this work. because it takes, in my opinion, it takes someone who has vision and has the courage to move forward to make this work.
Yeah.
It's not, it's this, I say this for, I'm in a space of entrepreneurship. I am a mother, and both jobs are not for the faint of heart. And when you're doing community, you are sharing yourself through, in this space, what I consider a representation of deep love. It's not for the faint of heart. And so, how could we, as a community, either schedule a tour and or support the mission, because you are a nonprofit designated organization and rely on, additional resources to help to support the work. How could we do that?
So if you go to our website, www.brownsvilleheritagehouse.org, you can click on our donate button if you like to do something monetary. There is a form if you're interested in maybe hosting a workshop or maybe bringing some kind of program. There is a form that you can just click on and we'll answer your email. We also we are on Instagram. So, ladies and gentlemen, forgive me with social media.
We got you. We got you. It's there. It's scrolling down. Please make sure, for all of the folks who are really into social media, you know, Brownsville Heritage is on Facebook, social media, Facebook and Instagram. Um, and also they have a website. But again, I'm really emphasizing this, right? We are coming towards the end of the year. And if you are looking for organizations that are within your community, this is an opportunity to actually donate and receive a tax benefit if that's your thing, right? It
Yes,
is tax
yes, yes.
deductible.
It
This
is
isn't
tax
charity. Please consider thinking about donating and supporting organizations that are at the forefront and will be towards the future of really preserving history within our community. This is our home, this is our backyard, but there is an ask. Miss Miriam didn't ask, but I will ask to think about, if you are at the end of the year and you're looking for spaces, places to donate, tax deductible, this is an organization that you can donate, and no amount is too small. I always say that. You may think that, and I always use the check mark analogy. If we can, buy, certain sneakers and donate and give to other organizations that are not tax deductible, think about, the long-term strategy and your long-term game to donate to an organization where you can benefit both ways, preserving your
Mhm.
community and also preserving some of your dollars in your pocket. So
Yeah. Of course, Anita said it so well. We are here. Please use our donate button. If you want to volunteer, please let us know you're welcome to volunteer. Our phone number is 718-385-1111. I am old school. If you want to send me a fax, 718-385-1113.
that still works too.
It
I
still
don't
works.
still
So
works.
all those things, any way you feel that you want to be help or you donate your time, monetary, whatever it is, please reach out to us and we will get back to you. Again, I just want to let you know I'm a personal one, so it may take me a little bit to get through everything, but I will get to you. So thank you guys for taking the time to listen to me, learn about Heritage House. I welcome you to come down. We are not opening every single day. You can make an appointment. So schedule an appointment to come down and visit with me. Yeah.
And there you have it. This is obviously, open for those who, just we're still in the space where we are figuring out what our new normal is. So, we're asking for grace across all the boards when it comes to businesses, because this is also, a business as well. And so please, please think about, taking advantage of, bringing children there, but you have to schedule an appointment.
Yes,
Um,
we do
just
school tours.
school tours, all of those things exist. But I also wanted to share that you did mention about the power in the pen, that happens virtually every Saturday. So that's there. You can sign up on the website, which is scrolling down at the bottom. So please, please, just think about if there are things and spaces that you are considering, just to check out. You will be surprised. You will be in awe. And if you're a person who functions similarly like I do, I use it for healing. And so that's how I'm learning, to go to what I perceive as safe spaces to help me in my personal healing journey. So you won't be disappointed at all. But I wanted
No.
to share, that these are events that exist, and also that the information to schedule and attend and visit is scrolling down at the bottom. But Miss Miriam,
Yeah.
we are not going to let you go yet, because part of our fun and getting to know you a little bit deeper, not only as the executive director, is we have a couple of questions that I always like to throw out to my guests, right?
Okay.
They're usually fun. They're one word, one word, one word, one word,
Okay.
except
Okay.
two of them.
Okay.
So let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. Go ahead.
What's your favorite borough?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
I'm a Brooklyn girl.
What do you do in your downtime?
Sleep. I'll be
That's
honest.
the best thing. What do you do in your spare time?
Spirit time, I read.
How do you envision the space, or what legacy do you want to leave for this space? And that's not usually not one word.
We want to be the epic center of Brooklyn. When you come to Brooklyn, you must come to Brownsville Heritage House.
Facts. That's hashtag facts.
Yes.
Do you appreciate pizza or burgers?
I love pizza. As a matter of fact, I might have pizza for lunch.
Ice cream or smoothies?
Smoothies.
Final thoughts?
Final thoughts. My final thought is Brownsville is your community.
And as soon as we get to the good part, where is she go? Soon as we get to the good part, as soon as we get to the good part, we lost her. But we didn't lose her. And so I want to specifically thank Miss Miriam Robertson for taking the time out of her busy schedule to join us. Again, we're in a virtual space, so this happens. This happens. So no harm, no foul. We got the whole interview. And so I want to have you all just think about joining and being connected to the Brownsville Heritage House, and consider supporting. But you all know that I am not going to leave you without sharing some other and additional practical information. Early voting is upon us. And so today, until Sunday, November 6th, find your site on vote.nyc. You can find your polling site. You can go vote. I am encouraging you as a part of one of the ways to become civically engaged is to get out and vote. You have all this opportunity to be able to do so, so please get out. And I see Miss Miriam's back. Okay, there you go.
So sorry.
Don't
Again.
apologize. Listen, what are your final words? This is the beauty of the digital space. Love it all.
Final words. Love your community. Brownsville is a place of wonder, history. Is at the forefront of everything that's going on in the country. Make yourself a part of it. Be a part of history. Be a part of history is my final word. Be a part of it. Every single day, believe it or not, when you wake up, you are a part of history going on at this moment in time. It could be a small part, it could be a big part, but you are part of history. And why not be a part of Brownsville's history?
And there you have it. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
This was you have to come back. You have to come back because I want to do a conversation about just deepening the learning of history. But I would love to have you back on the Brownsville Minute. But I thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk
Thank
with
you for
us.
having me. You're doing a fantastic job because you are making history every day with your podcast. Because when you're gone, your podcast is going to be like history. They was like, oh, we can go back and say, oh, they did an interview with so and so, and they're going to get some real facts.
Yeah, I'm the Brownsville Oprah. I'm claiming that the Brownsville Oprah
There you go.
hashtag. There I
There you
go.
go.
But I
There
really
you
appreciate you. Thank you so much, and I will see you again.
go. Love you. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
All right, take care.
Take care.
And so I again just have the excite that was really exciting, and you got to make sure that you support businesses within our community. But I wanted to just put up these reminders again. Early voting. There is no excuse for us not to vote. We have many options to vote. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but I am telling you to exercise your right to vote. If you are registered, please take advantage of that. There are some other important dates as well. If you want to submit an absentee ballot, which you can, the last date to do that is November the 7th to apply in person for an absentee ballot for the November 8th general election. So again, I am not running for office, so I'm not telling you to vote for me. But what I am encouraging you to do is part of our civic activity within these spaces. If you're registered to vote, please do so. These elections are just as important as any election. We have, judges, senators, all those mystery positions that people only think is just the president of the United States. This is just as important. So I'm encouraging you all to get out and vote. And you can find your polling location at vote.nyc. I want to also just mention that there are a number of community events that are happening. I am going to share a short video of some of the video announcements. I am, and my team and I are going to be teaching business courses for free in Brownsville, where we are going to be helping you to navigate the process of what it means to start a business. We are going to be partnering with the Brooklyn services at 1835 Sterling Place. They are for free. I am also going to be teaching those who want to get into the space of government contracting. If you watch my show, The Real Journey of the Entrepreneur, you will know that the 11375 does work with government agencies. We are certified with the city and state of New York as a minority women business enterprise. And so that gives us the ability to work with city and state agencies. And I'm going to teach you about that process the right way. And it is for free. And you can check us out. And I'm going to put that up in the announcements. And I'm also going to share it with all of our community partners. But I wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity to see it here. So, on that note, I want to thank you all for loving on the Brownsville Minute, taking time to share, like, review it, sit on, Sunday mornings with your tea with the Brownsville Minute. This is really something that we believe as one of the ways to share information within a community. It is not the end all, but we want to definitely be a part of the solution to help to support and share love the Brownsville way. So on that note, I really want to thank our guest, Miss Miriam Robertson. Please make sure that you say you saw her on the Brownsville Minute. And guess what? We're donating because it's necessary to keep and preserve our history, specifically within Brownsville. Sending you all love and light. Thank you for joining.